Hi, and welcome to Baker Affair. I'm Pika, and on this episode, I'm going to be making something that I tried to find a recipe that would make the most delicious cannolis ever, and I found it a few years ago. I have no idea where I found it. They are so insanely good. They taste like they came from a bakery. They're absolutely delicious. I've never had anybody say, "Oh, they suck." They are like insane. So let's get started. There's it's going to be all-purpose flour, icing sugar, cocoa powder, cinnamon, salt, baking soda, and room temperature butter. That's for the dry ingredients. And then the wet ingredients are Marsala wine. I have vinegar. And then I'm going to have 1 egg plus an egg yolk. And then we're going to save the egg white. So let's get started. Oh, it's going to also need the handy dandy food processor. I love a food processor. It takes so little time to do anything with a food processor. How did I ever live without it? I don't know. So in the food processor, I'm going to add the flour, the powdered sugar, which the flour is one and 3/4 cup. The icing sugar is 2 tablespoons. The cocoa powder is a teaspoon. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Half a teaspoon of salt. And 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, not powder, soda. And then we're just going to blend this up. And then we're going to add the butter. And then I'm going to add the butter. And you just pulse it a few times so that the butter gets incorporated into the flour. The wet ingredients, which I have to separate this 1 egg. Nope, wrong bowl. I need the yolk. So then I'm going to put it and add the wet ingredients, which is the eggs, the vinegar, and the marsala. Very important. And then we're going to pulse until it comes together. And I might need a teeny bit more flour. It's a little too wet. Okay. That's what we're looking for. You see that? It all came together. That's what we're looking for. And then on a lightly floured surface, which is more than lightly surface, we're going to take this dough out. And we're going to just knead it a few times. I'm going to actually add a little bit more flour. I love it when they say to knead and then it's like all, ugh. We're just bringing it together. And because I'm going to be using I'm going to cut this into four, maybe 2 pieces. Just because I can. Approximately 1 hour, and then we're going to put it through a pasta machine. I'll be back in a. And now this is going to go into the refrigerator. Okay, so I'm back. It's been about an hour. Got some of it out. I'm going to cut this into, I cut it into 2. Now I should cut this into 2 and make 4 pieces. As you can see, I have this beautiful cannoli apron, I call it, because this is the only time I ever wear an apron is if I'm making sauce or if I'm making cannolis with the oil. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to go warm that oil up over there to about 374 Fahrenheit or a little less. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. Still a little sticky, but I'm going to throw a little bit of flour onto the surface. And I'm also trying a new cutter. I went to that Amazon, you know, where they have all the returns, the bin stores, and I got like this cannoli cutter with like cannoli things, even though I have my handy dandy cannoli, what do they call it? What do they call it? You know, mold or whatever. I've been using these for years. So I'm going to try this. It looks a little big. I usually use the can from tomato sauce, San Marzano tomatoes. That's what I use. But we're going to, and as you can see, I put that on it so I know it's a cannoli cutter. But right now we're going to do this. I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to flour it just because I'm going to do this. Smush it a little bit. Like that. And then I'm going to add more flour to the outside of it. And then I'm going to put it through the pasta machine. Meanwhile, I'm going to be looking on that oil because it needs to warm up. So as you can tell, this, and then I'm going to stick it through here. What am I doing? Should be the first one. Ugh. Ugh. Making a mess. All right. No big deal. I did it wrong. I put it on the wrong size. That's okay. It's all right. I am going to flour it up real well, though. I've had this pasta machine for a very long time. And I like to go to about 4 or 5, like 5. And I also like to cut it in half from here because it gets too overwhelming for me. And actually, you cannot see what I'm doing. I took that new cutter and I cut that out of it. I'm just going to leave that over there for right now. Let me show you what I did. I went like this. I don't know if I really like it. Maybe there was a reason why they returned it to Amazon, because it doesn't look like it cuts too well. That could be part of the problem. And I keep checking that oil. Okay, so I have all of them rolled out. It's a lot of work. The dough is forgiving. Like, you can put a lot of flour in it. It's amazing. I'm going to clean this up, and then we're going to go over by the oil, and I'm going to show you how you fry them.
Okay, so you're going to take the cannoli dough and you're going to take the brush and take the egg white and brush the egg white on top of the dough, and then you're going to wrap it around the cannoli tube, and then you're going to leave it on the side until you fry them.
Okay, so I'm still putting them in here. You have to be very careful, though, with oil. And I only put 2 in at a time. And then I always am very careful. I try to be. And you don't want to burn them, but you don't want to not have them dark enough. This one is I think might be too dark, but it might not be. I don't know. This one doesn't look too bad. That's going to be in the good pile. So let me continue to fry, and I'll be back when they're done. Okay, so I'm done with frying the cannoli shells, which are right here. Don't they look delicious? Tomorrow, I'm going to fill them. There were some that I burnt. Like, some of these are burnt. They're like burnt. See that, like brown? And you can always smell it if it's burnt. So it's not going to stop me from eating it unless it's really burnt. Until tomorrow, ciao. Okay, so I'm going to start off by adding 2 containers of mascarpone cheese. They are 8 ounces each. And I'm just going to beat this. I'm going to take my handy dandy mixer. Not my favorite mixer, but it's still a handy dandy mixer. And we're just going to make it more pliable. Just for a couple seconds. See? And then I'm going to add the ricotta. Mix that in there with it. You want to make sure those cheeses are both mixed in well. I don't know. I love cannolis. I really do. Do you like cannolis? Okay. And then I'm going to add the icing sugar. A little bit at a time, because you don't want it going all over the place. Then I'm going to add the vanilla. The zest of a lemon. And remember, when you're zesting lemon, you don't want any of that white. Can I get it in there? You know, the white spots. You just want the actual yellow part. Okay. And scrape all of that back off there. Okay. I need a pinch of salt. And I need a smidge of cinnamon oil. And this is actually a smidge. And then I always try it before I move on, just in case I want a little bit more of that. I might add just one more drop of cinnamon oil. And when I mean a drop, I literally mean a drop. Okay, and now I'm going to add the chocolate chips. These are mini chocolate chips. And I'm just going to throw them in. And I'm not going to use the beater. I'm just going to fold them in. Might add just a few more. Because you don't really want a lot. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to stick this in a bag. Stick it in a bag so that way you can pipe it into the cannolis. And everybody always makes this look so easy. It's not easy. It's not easy getting that in there. And in a smaller bag. I'm going to show you. You just kind of do that. And then you see how it's open and you fill that gap in. Like that. And you can always add more chocolate chips if you want. And that's it. Okay. So you know how I can't wait. I'm going to eat one. These are so good, I bet. I cannot tell you. I could eat thousands of these. You can taste the citrus. You can taste the chocolate. And if you make these, let me tell you, do not fill them until you're ready to eat them, because the crispiness of the shell is all. It's all of it. Anyway, if you're liking this content and you're following me or you're not following me, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe if you like. And until the next time, ciao.